Hey everyone, welcome to Breakout Wednesday for the 27th of November 2024. It's currently 9 p.m. on the West Coast, midnight on the East Coast. First of all, remember this is never financial advice, not a financial advisor. This is simply via blog and how one trader sees the market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own opinions. All right, so first of all, awesome thread on the forum from Peter just talking about, getting back into trades that sell and then they set up again, and it's a very good post, and it's something that I need to work on, and I think probably nearly all of us need to work on. It's a really hard thing to master, so check that out. Look, the All Lords is flirting with new all-time highs, and it's in a strong uptrend. Let's just quickly look. Let's say the Dow new all-time highs. Let's look at, say, the Nasdaq 100k. Strong uptrend above its 10 exponential moving average, and new all-time highs is right here. So we're in a bull market, okay? On the ASX, if you've got your money in, the big banks, or just the, gear or whatever, then you're doing very well. Obviously, you're languishing a bit behind if you've got money in the big miners, all right? So will that change? I remember thinking that at around $40, this would be an awesome buy. Do I have, am I going to add now? I don't know. It's so hard, right? Once these things are selling off, I still like my self-managed super fund position in these big miners, but I'm not sure. I think maybe, new positions, to me, it makes more sense to be looking at those blue sky opportunities and things that are leading. So look, just quickly get into that. Let's just talk about some of these trades I've been in, and talking about a lot. Car. I'm still haven't trimmed a share. Just holding tight on this guy. I still think I can get more out of him in this first leg up before I trim anything. So I've got this line drawn, but I'm actually trying to get a bit more than that. So touch base on him again next week. But this is just such a classic setup, and I'm just going to get my job's just to keep, instead of the BHPs and the things languishing down here at the bottom right, I'm trying to find these ones that are big basin with blue sky above them, okay? Because that's where the money's at. Shop. Okay, I did get shaken out of half of that, but I'm still in a bit. Had a good start, didn't it? Kind of went pretty hard on this guy. I'm in here from the break of 3.04. Haven't sold anything, haven't trimmed, so let's see what happens over the next week, okay? What's another one to chat about? SSG. Frustrating. Most people have bailed, I think, by now, from the sounds of it, which I kind of like. Maybe the years have made me patient, and we'll see. I just think that, like, if this can break out of here and grind up, say, 40% over the next 6 months, then that's still a much better return than 6% in the bank, isn't it? So for 12 months, so I'm just not stressed. Like, it hasn't showed me a loss really ever, except for obviously day 3. But I wasn't, I was trying not to pay any attention to that. And so, it's just one of those things. Like, I'm not losing money on it, so why stress? Let's just give it a chance and chill the hell out and see what the market wants to offer me. So that's that. And what was one of the, so this other guy, Chef, right? So I really wanted him to chill out for 3 days, here, but he didn't, but now he's having a little bit of a chill. So I do like this. Like, this is a good base, and I just don't like these ones that run up from the lows and poke, because they do tend to stuff around a bit. So, I am watching him for setup. Okay, now let's just go. It's a pretty quick one this week, because, I'm pretty set with a lot of my positions. Code, it went up and tested exact resistance line, like at 16.15. The top of that is 16.16. So pretty much, and then it hasn't broken out. So that's so tight up there. I'm just, let's see if she can now turn around, and bang, it's like the resistance even better. That's just so tight. So anyway, watching CDA. Another one came up, and someone posted a forum too, and is good old SMR. You remember, this was this classic setup here, okay? And so this was just pretty much perfection. This isn't as good. Like, you just compare how the moving average will all converge and come together and then all start trending up, and then we had a breakout, whereas here they just haven't come together. This is immature, this base. Like, it needs like for this to be perfection, okay, for me to really kind of really trust it would be now like this, if I had a little bit of this action going on, maybe not quite that deep, maybe like that. It's kind of like that. So if I had that, then it would give the moving averages a chance to go over and and kind of really converge, and then give it time, and then bang, that would be a very, very, very good setup. So but anyway, so that's just my opinion on him, and I'm going to sit and wait and be patient. Another one is coming up in Darvis boxes, and Frank's scans is just SDR still, and I did talk about this last week probably, and just base in there, on balance volumes drifting a bit, I know, but blue sky above it, and tightening, and just hopefully just chopping around and jumping around in that Darvis box for as long as it really wants, and just as long as it tightens and stays in the Darvis box, and it stays on my watch list and I watch it carefully. And so now just on the that's it on the ASX for now to talk about, but just there's a few things just quickly before I piss off on the American markets. This is AZO. For those who watched Breakout Wednesday, I was in this guy, back here in Jan 24, right? So nearly a year ago now. Broke out of this huge base, and then here was obviously my target, and it hit it just right. And this is an expensive stock. A lot of people are looking at this thinking, shit, it's $3,000 stock. But I do feel like there's edge in. I do feel like I have edge in not concentrating because I trade all sorts of stocks, but I read a lot, and I know AZO is famous for buying back shares. It's got a great business, been around for ages. They're kind of dominant in their space, loved by fund managers and all that sort of stuff. But they just love buying their shares. I was reading the other day that they kind of announced another $1.5 billion share buyback, right? And so obviously for those, I've talked about this before, but they're buying their shares and cancelling them, right? A bit like what Qantas has been doing a lot of, right? For those who are kind of interested in Qantas, like Qantas have been buying 10% of all shares traded every day on average for months and months now. I forget actually when it started, is Qantas buying their own shares and cancelling them. And it is normal and a respected thing to do when the share price gets super low. Companies be like, oh, we're announcing a share buyback because maybe they've got excess cash and they don't have necessarily anything to spend that cash on. And that's obviously a fantastic position for anyone to be in, a business or an individual. And Qantas's answer at the moment is just keep buying no matter what. And the jury's out. Like, are they buying this at the highs, and is it dumb, or or is this thing just getting started? I mean, I have no idea about Qantas, right? But it is interesting. I didn't even mean to talk about Qantas other than they love buying their shares back. And it is, if you look at CBA, for example, like these guys have been known to buy shares back, but they never do it when it's up at 52-week highs, right? They tend to do it when it's getting hammered, and that tends to be the traditional smart thing to do. But obviously, who knows? Maybe Qantas knows something we don't, right? So, and so anyway, getting back, I feel that knowing a lot about companies does give me edge. I mean, this is the reason I took this trade back here in AZO. And yeah, I know it's expensive stock, and for tiny accounts, maybe it's not, you don't want to take it, whatever. But AZO is setting up. This is a Frank Starvis. This is a Frank scan on weekly data, right? A really, really kick-ass scan to do. It's what found that first trade in AKM, right? When it was breaking out of this base, that was a weekly Frank scan, okay? And so it really is a kick-ass scan to just make sure you do at least weekly. So AZO came up in that, and that's something I'm always going to trade. A big base, look how just flat that base is, long-term uptrend, flat as hell. Anyway, I've crapped on way too long about that stock. And the other one's Apple, all right? And you don't have to be some fundamental loving paper reading dude to know anything all about Apple, right? I bet it's just, Buffett's been selling Apple a little bit lately, and this thing's, obviously look at that trend. It's just been basing now since July. It's just been, forming this type pattern. I guess on a daily, it just pissed me off a bit that this has just kind of rallied from here. I'd love this to just spend a few days or a few weeks chilling, but hey, it is what it is, and Apple is setting up. Like, you look at that on a monthly chart and it looks really tight, doesn't it? It's all about perspective and how you're looking at these things. Weekly chart, it looks kind of tight too, and so it's just, for me, these are the high probability things when I have these companies that I know the fundamentals are really, really good. It's why kind of I had the confidence of this car trade and the REA trade, or position of self-managed super fund, the REA one, and some others like the Zero, right? And it's just, I have so much more confidence in these suckers when they're real companies with real businesses and real cash flow, and they're not just selling some pipe dream out of a tin shed somewhere with no revenue, and maybe 10 years until revenue even starts, if they get their shit together and a lot of luck. So anyway, that's that. A few setups there forming, and a lot of rambling shit. So take care, everyone. Chat soon. Bye.